All right, this is going to be a full body workout. We're going to be going 4 movements here. We're going to be resting 20 seconds. So we'll start off with front squat. We're going to do both arms. So it's a single rack front squat. And 3, 2, 1, go. So clean that bell up into that rack position, and we'll be performing the front squats. I will tell you when to switch. So make sure, notice how upright my body stays. So I'm in that extension throughout my spine, so I'm avoiding rounding. I don't want to let the weight of the bell pull me down. I don't want it to come across my body. I want to stay in that nice strong rack position. Go ahead and switch sides. Should be on the other arm now. And notice how I'm trying to get at least to parallel. If I cannot get to parallel, if you cannot get there, do not load this movement. Work on your mobility first. So if you have to use a suspension trainer or something else, another implement, that's fine. Don't load a movement you don't have the range of motion for. And time. All right, take 20-second break. So these breaks are important, and if they feel way too long, then that means you are not going heavy enough. So up that weight within your abilities. So obviously if it's too heavy, that is not going to allow you for 20 seconds of rest. So you want to find that sweet spot where 40 seconds feels like a challenge, but is not impossible. All right, so now we're going to the bottoms up position. Get ready. Get that bell up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, so we're going to bring that bell up, and even though this is a static position, this is a very powerful movement. So it is fantastic for setting up for front squats, for presses. It keeps you in that nice upright position so you can't round under pressure. I want you to engage, squeeze your arm as much as you can, squeeze your lat, squeeze your core. Go ahead and switch to the other arm if you haven't already. And same idea, keep that tension, extreme amount of tension. Get the most out of this movement. Don't just hold it and balance it. Go as heavy as you feel confident. So again, too heavy, it's gonna get out of control. Great job. All right, go ahead and take a break, another 20 seconds. Next, we're gonna be working on your hip mobility. So important to be able to squat properly, for lunging, for swinging, all the ballistic work. We're going to be going into a shin box practice. I like to call it practice because I want you to practice the skill of mobility in this situation. So let's get started. All right, we're going to go for 40 seconds of work on the shin box practice. Get ready. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So you are sitting upright. We're going to be going back and forth. So this is a little bit more advanced. If you can't have your hands off the ground, go ahead and put your feet onto, or your hands onto the one side, and then move yourself back and forth so that way that you have a little bit more help to get back and forth in this position. Some people don't have the requisite mobility in the hips to bring those knees down, so just go to the best of your abilities. But I promise, when you practice this movement, that internal external rotation of the hips, and you really hone in on that, your squats, everything is going to feel so much better. So keep on going, breathe through this, don't hold your breath, and time. All right, we're gonna be resting again, and then we'll be getting into the last movement of this circuit before we go back into the circuit, and that's gonna be the Renegade row. So what I would like for you to have is a heavier bell, so that way that can be your foundation. So we're only gonna be rowing on one side, and then at the 20-second mark, we'll be switching to the other side. So if you do not have a heavy enough bell, switch to one-arm rows. If you find yourself too off balance, don't push yourself. All right, ready? 2, 1, and go. So one bell is set up. I'll be pulling with the lighter arm, or the lighter bell. Notice how I'm bringing my elbow back towards my hips, so my forearm stays vertical. I'm avoiding excessive rounding, excessive rotating. As I'm pulling, I'm trying to keep myself as square as possible, and I'm not going too high. So I don't want to bring my elbow up past my back. Go and switch sides, and keep on rowing. So I want to have a lot of tension on this, and I'm breathing through the point of exertion. So in this case, I'm pulling and letting some breath out as I go. Very nice work. Keep your glutes nice and tight. That's going to keep that foundation. Focus on that arm you're pushing into. And time. All right, so now we're gonna rest for a minute, and then we're gonna come back to the first movement. We got 4 rounds of this. So at this point, if you only have one bell, then you're gonna have to keep up with that bell. But if you have the ability to go up or down based on how you did on that last circuit, then go for it. So if you need to go a little heavier, that's totally fine. I want you to push yourself on this. If you're not pushing yourself, you're most likely not gonna get the most from this workout. 30 seconds left. Make sure if you drink some water, have your towel, whatever you gotta do. A little intraset mobility is fantastic. So some of those mobility decompression drills, you can incorporate those during those rest periods as well. That's a great way to keep your heart rate at least slightly elevated and just nice and mobile for the upcoming work ahead. All right, we're gonna get started again, back in those front squats. Really push yourself, challenge yourself. Try to go as heavy as you feel comfortable. As I keep saying, you wanna go just outside your comfort zone. Not too far, just outside. All right, ready? 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, so back to those front squats. Again, 20 seconds of front squats on one side, right into the other side. I'll tell you when to switch. Nice and controlled. Notice that the knees are pointing out of the toes. I'm keeping a nice straight back. I'm not cocking my head in any direction. I'm not turning in any direction. And go ahead and switch sides. So you should be on the other arm now. Keep on front squatting. You're doing freaking awesome. So you should be feeling this definitely in your legs, but as well in your upper body, your back, your shoulders. That's why I love front squats. There's more bang for your buck. 5 more seconds. You have got this. I believe in you. Keep going, and time. All right, take a little break. We're gonna get back into that bottoms up position. And again, all about tension for that position. It's all about tension. So we really wanna focus on our intra-abdominal tension as well as our breath. We don't wanna hold our breath. Can't stress that enough. No holding the breaths. All right, let's get that bell, get it ready to go. Find the bell that is the best for you. Ready. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, bring that bell up, back into that bottoms up position. Really pull your shoulder down, pull your lat, tighten up your lat, squeeze your grip. So engage as much as possible. Notice how high my elbow is. If I'm using a bell that's too heavy, you got 3 seconds, then we're gonna switch. And switch arms. If the bell is too heavy, you're going to bring your elbow down too low. So I want you to go heavy enough that it's going to challenge you, but light enough that you can elevate your arm so that way your elbow is a little bit more out in front of your body. So it's not too low. All right, 5 more seconds. Breathe through that tension. You're almost there. And time. All right, we got another rest period here, and then we're going to be moving back into those shin box practice. So really push yourself on those shin boxes. Now, you don't want to push yourself too hard because you will find that you have those tension-filled areas that we have to work through, and this is your chance to really work through those. That's going to make everything else feel so much better. All right, on the ground, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Shin box extensions, shin box practice. We're going to be going back and forth on this. So notice how I'm trying to bring knee, foot on the ground. So this is important because this is going to set me up for no hand get-ups, for a lot of other work here. And you'll also find, and I find this with my clients all the time, if they have looser hips, they typically have less back issues. So tight hips, tight glutes, tight everything that is the foundation of your spine can lead to more back pain. So we want to avoid that by focusing on this hip mobility. Great work. 3 more seconds. So you shouldn't be too stressed on this one. And time, we're gonna rest for 20 seconds, and then we're gonna go into those renegade rows again. So renegade rows are fantastic at building not only shoulder and back strength, but also a lot of trunk stability. So this is a fantastic movement. And if you have double kettlebells, feel free to incorporate that at this point and just alternate the pulls. So pull on one side, pull on the other side, and then keep going back and forth. All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1, go. So starting on that lighter bell. So what I want you to think about in this set is really focus on pushing down with the opposite hand. So don't just think pull because your foundation is that other arm. I want you to think of the push, okay? And that's gonna be a great way to keep that foundation, to keep that connection to the ground. Switch sides quickly and keep pulling. So if you're just focused on that pull, you typically have a little less stability on that ground bell. So keep that wrist nice and straight. If you're starting to find you're getting wrist pain on this, just switch to a one-arm row from a staggered stance or from a lunge position. And time. All right, great work. Let's rest for a minute. Round 2 is complete. You got 2 more rounds, and then you are done with your workout. And then you're going to be so excited that you're going to want to probably do another workout. That's what I love about these short workouts. They're 20 minutes. They're great. You can fit them in just about anywhere, anytime. I like to use these sometimes first thing in the morning. I like to use them midday. I like to use them at night. So you see where I'm going with this? You can use them at any time. All right, 30 more seconds. Drink some water if you need. Grab something to eat. Just kidding. Don't grab anything to eat. That might be a little bit tough to get through these next couple workouts. Seconds, and then we'll be getting back into the front squats for round number 3. So if by the second set you have not found the right weight by now, you should definitely feel comfortable with the weight you're about to pick. So I want you to make sure you are challenging yourself. All right, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clean that bell up and squat. So again, nice smooth cadence. We're not going excessively fast. We're not going excessively slow. I want you to pause for just a split second, just enough to take the inertia out of the equation, to take that stretch reflex out of the equation, so that way it takes a little bit more pressure on your legs. And switch arms quickly, keep on squatting. So that upper body stays as erect as possible, as tight as possible. Don't slouch, don't round, don't move. Try to keep yourself as tense-filled as possible as you're doing this. Breathe through that tension. So as you come up, let your breath out, take a breath in, pressurize, and again. All right, 20 seconds rest. We're gonna get back into that bottoms up position. And if you are fairly new to the bottoms up position, use a lighter weight and use your other hand as support. That's another great way to make sure that you don't go too heavy or that bell doesn't smash into your face. And then, please don't call me for any dental bills, because I can't really do anything about that. All right, back to bottoms up position, starting off with whichever one your weaker arm is. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, bring that bell up, pull that shoulder down, engage your lats, drop your scaps. So I'm trying to keep my upper body as tight as possible, but as low as possible, so depressed as possible. So I don't want to raise my shoulders. If I raise my shoulders, it takes a little bit more of the pressure onto the shoulder, and I don't have as much of a foundation. Switch sides. Should be on the other side now. Squeeze that bell. Keep that wrist as straight as possible. Not that you'll have a choice, because that bell will tell you if your wrist is not straight. Breathe through that tension. Squeeze your glutes. Grip the ground with your feet. So try to be as connected as possible. And time. Taking another quick rest before we get into those shin boxes. So for round 3 of those shin boxes, hips should be feeling a little bit looser. You should be feeling overall better, but if you're starting to feel tighter, I want to make sure that you don't push yourself. Okay, so with the shin box practice, this is more about mobility than it is about trying to push yourself to that next level. All right, ready, and 2, 1, go. So on the ground, we're getting that knee foot to the ground. Again, if you're feeling like this is just way too hard, almost impossible, just bring your knee as close to the ground as possible and use your hands as support. You can also set up a couple kettlebells on the outsides of you, so that way you can use that as support or even some kind of structure. So don't push yourself so much where you're feeling pain on this. I want you to focus primarily on just going to that range of motion, finding your end range and seeing how you can do. So if I can get to that end range and I feel pretty good, cool, I can keep going. If I'm finding way too tight of spots, we got to work on some different mobility drills here. And time. Another 20-second rest. Then we're going to get back into those renegade rows. So another great exercise, such a great exercise, just because, again, what makes kettlebell so powerful is you get more bang for your buck. You can do more with less. You get more activation with less movements, with less reps, with less time. All right, get those bells into position. We're going to get started on the renegade rows in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So pulling up with one side, just pulling up to where your arm is in line with your body. So any higher, we start to get a little bit more delt activation, rear delt specifically, and we want to try to keep that engagement as low as possible for right now, focusing primarily on the lats and your mid back. So that's why we don't want to go too high in this, which is kind of a mistake I see. Make sure you switch sides if you haven't already. I want you to pull, engage, squeeze as you pull up, okay? So it's a big part of this. Squeeze as you pull up, and then drop that bell down. So with that planted arm, make sure you're keeping it straight. You're not hyperextending at the elbow. Another mistake I see people make. And time. Got another minute rest here, so again, grab some water, take a break as you need, and then we'll get back to the front squats for our final set. 30 more seconds of rest, and then we're gonna get back to our fourth and final set. So right now, you should be feeling pretty good. Everything has definitely been worked. That's a good thing about these workouts is full body workouts. We're getting more bang for our buck. We're hitting shoulders, we're hitting arms, we're hitting lower body, we're hitting trunk, we're working on our breath, we're working on mobility. So much goes into these workouts, so it's not just pick a few exercises and then go through it. All right, back to front squats for our final set. One more round, you're so close. Make sure to start off with your weaker arm, and if you don't have a weaker arm, then your less strong arm. Ready, in 3, 2, 1, go. So that bell's in that rack position. We're squatting down, trying to bring our hips right in between our heels. So we're trying to stay as upright as possible with our upper body. Feet are firmly planted on the ground. Push through that. So engage your trunk. Your trunk should be engaged the entire time. And switch sides, other arm. So the magic of editing, you did not see me switch. It was so fast. So make sure you are switching those so that way you are equaling out or making sure you're getting equal work on both sides. Great work. 5 more seconds. You're so close. And time. Great job. 20 seconds rest, grab some water, and then let's move on to the fronts or to the bottoms up position. So make sure your hands are dry. So if you're getting sweaty, use a towel, use a little bit of chalk if you need, but just a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of chalk if I don't need it, but in this case, since it's gonna be a static position, let's use it. All right, grab your bell, get ready for the bottoms up position. We're gonna be working both sides. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, bring that bell upside down, pull the shoulder down. You keep hearing me say that. What does that mean? Just make sure you're not shrugging. So we want to keep the shoulder engaged, lats engaged, tight. So see how I'm bringing that bell up? I'm pulling it up because it's fairly light, but again, you can clean it. You can use 2 hands. You can get in the rack position and use the other hand however you want to. Switch sides. Keep on holding. Great work. Make sure to keep your head nice and straight. Don't look to any sides. Unless someone says, fire, then just don't look away. Keep yourself in that forward gaze. Great work and time. All right, rest 20 seconds. We're gonna get into that shin box practice for one final set. And if any of these movements just call out to you, feel like you wanna practice these, practice them by all means. Shin box is one of those things where I would like for you to practice it more regularly. Like I said, it's just such a great movement that we never think about. And go ahead and get onto the ground. Get ready to get in position. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for it. So this is a great test of what you can do from the ground to standing. So that sit-rise test is a mortality test to see how long you're going to live. And they're able to see that if you can get up from the ground to standing without using your hands fairly quickly, it is a good sign that you have amazing mobility, strength, balance, all those things. So this is the prerequisite for that, or at least one of them. Great work. Keep on moving. Get those knees to the ground. Try to stay as upright as possible. Try not to use your hands. 3 more seconds. So close. And time. Great work. Last movement of this workout, those renegade rows. So again, if you have double bells, feel free to perform alternating reps and then just keep moving so you don't have to worry about that split. All right, rest is almost up. Get those bells in position, get in position. You're in a push-up position. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, let's pull. So drive that hand into the ground, pull with that other elbow or with the other arm. I mean, technically your elbow is coming up too, so you can pull with that elbow. Keep that nice straight position. So notice I'm in a slight round. That's because I'm trying to keep my trunk as engaged as possible without excessive flexion. Switch sides. Good job. Again, if you're starting to feel too much pressure on that other wrist, then use a different support. You can use your knee in a lunge position. Make it work for you. Push yourself, challenge yourself. In this case, pull, but you get what I'm saying. So close, 3 seconds. You're almost there, and time. Great work. Proud of you. You did a fantastic job. You are now done.